Hello and welcome to this introductory lecture on international agricultural trade. And I am Kadisha Katola, your guide through this fascinating subject. Over the course of this lecture, we will explore the principle, practice, and impact of agricultural trade on global scale. And we will explore the principles as well as the practice and the impact of agricultural trade. Whether you are a student, a professional, or simply curious, this course is designed to give you a comprehensive understanding of this topic, which is international agricultural trade. So let us talk about what this course is all about. So international agricultural trade is not just about exchanging goods and services across borders, but it's all about understanding the system, policies, and theories that underpin global trade. So by the end of this course, you'll be able to interpret international trade data and policies. You also explain why nations trade and what they gain from it using trade theories. So we'll have a multiple of trade theories, international trade theories. So using this concepts, you will explain why nations trade and how nations gain benefit from that trade. And you also assess how trade policies affect the welfare of a given nation. And finally, you will discuss the role of trade in economic growth and development. So let us dive into the basics. So why do nations trade? So that's our topic today. So the answer lies in specialization and exchange. For centuries, countries have engaged in trade to obtain goods they cannot efficiently produce themselves. For example, an agricultural products like coffee, flowers, tea, and wheat flow from regions with favorable climate conditions to those where such production is not viable or possible. Whereas resources like petroleum and natural gases can also go in the same. So in this section, we'll explore foundational questions such as why do nations trade? What is the base of international trade? And what key terms do we need to understand moving forward in this course? And that will be our today's content. So let's start from the first question, why nations? The first topic of our session, why nations trade. And historically, the reason for trade have evolved. And during the mercantilist period, wealth was seen as a country's called reserves. So policies focused on maximizing export and minimizing import to accumulate wealth. That's the mercantilists' view for trade. So say they encourage export and discourage import because they believe that the only way to make a nation richer and wealthier is through the accumulation of precious metals such as silver and gold. So they had this answer, the answer for, according to the mercantilists, the answer for why nations trade is to accumulate a precious capital, a precious metals, which is a base for to build a nation, to build a nation. And also, Adam Smith challenged this theory of with his theory, which is called absolute advantage, which highlights how specialization and free trade can benefit all parties that engage in trade. So he focused on that both nations can mutually engage in trade for mutual benefit. So say trade because there is a mutual benefit. There's a benefit that uh, both nations. There's a way that both nations can get benefited. So we'll discuss this section in chapter 2 of this chapter, this course. So the other scholar is David Ricardo, and he took it a step further with comparative advantage, explaining that even countries with no absolute advantage, which is explained by Adam Smith, in production can benefit from trade by specializing in what they do relatively better or efficient. So, according to Adam Smith, it is an absolute advantage that leads to international trade between, or that needs to trade between countries. In the case there is no absolute advantage for particular nation, then there will be no trade. But Ricardo challenged and had another view of trade, international trade, that's called comparative advantage. So he looked at the Adam Smith's view of trade possibility, and then he brings a new idea which is called comparative advantage. So he made the Adam Smith's absolute advantage theory more flexible, and then even if there's no absolute advantage for a given nation, still there is a way a nation can trade, and this way is called comparative advantage. So the basis for of international laws on specialization, and that's according to Adam Smith and David Ricardo. So the other is the concept. The concept is at the basis of international, and the basis of trade lays in differences resource, technology, cost, and even preference. For example, Ethiopia may specialize in coffee because of its climate, a favorable climate, while another country, let's say Europe, let's say France, may focus on machinery production. So trade allows both countries to benefit by leveraging these differences. So it is in general a nation's trade because it enables access to goods that they cannot produce efficiently themselves, creating opportunity for better quality, varieties, and lower costs. And this makes the base for international trade. The other topic we'll explain in this video is about terms in international trade. So there are some terms that you need to be familiar because we'll have these terms throughout this course. So before we conclude, let's familiarize ourselves with some key terms in international trade. So that includes import and exporting. It's not new thing, but we need to know that. So import means just is buying from a port, and export means selling to a port. So buying and selling goods across the borders leads to import and export concept. Surplus and deficit. This concept is only the concept that's available in international trade where there is an international trade concept. So it is relationship between import and export. Once an import exceeds export, then we have a trade deficit. But when the export exceeds import, we call there is trade surplus and exchange rates as well. So we have an exchange rate that is the price of one nation's currency in terms of other's nation. And free trade is free trade and protectionism. Actually, we'll see this one. So Free trade is trade without restriction, like tariff and quota and other non-tariff mechanisms. And free trade, that's free trade and restrict if there is restriction or any barrier, and that is called protectionism here. So that's all about our today's section. So in today's lecture, we introduce the course and discuss the foundation of international trade, why nations trade, the basis of trade, and essential terminology. In our next lecture, we'll dive deeper into the theory of trade, starting the classical perspective, and then we'll go to the modern international trade concepts. So don't miss it. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insight into international agriculture trade. See you next time. Bye bye.